Welcome. I'm super excited to have each and every one of you here today. February is coming to an end, the month of love. None of us is wearing red, unfortunately, but I think you catch that gist. We're all ladies, only one gentleman here, but yeah, we're excited. We're excited. So for those that are joining us for the first time, allow me to share with you a bit about who Zeno is. We are a goal-based investment service, and as previously mentioned, our mission ideally is to ensure that you achieve your dreams. Now, unlike a couple of different investment services, our goal is to help you plan, save, and invest so that you can achieve your financial goals. If you want to hear more about us or get to know about us, please visit any of our social media platforms or go ahead to visit our website. That's at myzeno.com, and you will find everything you need there. But also not forgetting that we have advisors who would be happy to catch up and have a conversation with you should you have any questions. Anyway, that being said, I am joined by a phenomenal panel of amazing people. They've gone on to do fantastic things. If I begin to read their CVs, they were saying, "Family, don't over talk about the CV." But my friend, we have to give credit where it's due. Today, we are joined by a fantastic panel of amazing ladies and a gentleman who have walked an interesting journey, especially when it comes to finances. And as always, in these conversations, we are looking to talk about money. We're looking to talk about financial etiquette. We're looking to talk about financial discipline. So all those things are going to be catered to today, but in the context of relationships. So if you have a partner, a husband, a friend, a wife, a colleague who's looking to get married or who's in a dating situation, whichever case you want to look at it, relationships can differ in many ways. I think this is the conversation for them. So go ahead to dial them in, send them the link, let them know we are starting. We are starting now, so that they can get the gist of it and then so that they can't miss it. But if you feel like they'll probably miss it, don't hesitate to let them know that they will be able to catch this conversation on our YouTube channel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the parts that we have all been waiting for, our panel. I'll start with Monica Kasirye Kavuma. She's the CEO of Financial Fitness Spa, and she's going to be telling us a bit about that as we go along. We're also delighted to have our first-time guest, the director of Oak Christian Academy. That's Mr. Bob Kibirango, and Mrs. Marjorine Nantambi, a corporate consultant and financial advisor with the National Financial Educators Council. So I'm super grateful to have each and every one of you here today. Thank you for making the time. We genuinely don't take it for granted. You're all busy people. So we're grateful that you chose to share your knowledge and your time with our Zeno community for us to be able to grow together. Now, today we are talking about love, money, and everything in between. Now, we all know that everything in between there is the one that's difficult. So these amazing three people are going to be walking us through how to traverse the everything in between and how do we get to the very end of everything to ensure that we are disciplined people with our finances, but we also maintain our relationships. Lest they say the marriage failed because money refused. That will not be the portion. So we all know that money and relationships are intertwined, and if we say, oh, well, let's leave money out of this conversation, we may be liars, right? So I'm going to go ahead to start with our panel, and maybe for us to get to know them a little bit better, this is a question for all three of you. So maybe we'll go with Monica first. We're going to dive into this topic. So I'll start with a simple question. And this question, by the way, if you're joining us online, there'll be a poll coming up pretty soon. So you'll be able to also add your questions over there. I want to know, what's your mindset around money? Like, who are you around money? Do you have a scarcity mindset? Do you have an abundance mindset? Do you just fear money? You're like, Manange, anything to do with money, first leave me, like, I don't do those things. Or are you the spender? You walk into the place and you're like, tomorrow shall deal with itself. Today, I have the money. So swipe the card, So I'll go with Monica first. What's your money mindset?
Okay, thanks, Juanita, and good evening, everyone. Excited to be here to talk about the things I love, because money makes the world go round. Yeah. So my mindset, I should say, if I'm to strictly in those categories, I could say I'm a vigilante. I don't like surprises. I don't like poverty. So I like to be in charge, if you know what I mean. So that's my mindset. And I mean, just answering it plainly, that is what it is. I can go on and on, but I don't like surprises. I don't want to be surprised. I want to be in charge. I hate poverty, so I'll do anything I can do to turn my world around without stealing and without compromising the person that I am. So thank you.
Nice. Vigilante, eh? Yes, Marjorie.
Thank you, Jonita. Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're well. So for me, when it comes to money, I'm a bit of both. One day you'll find me like, let's make those investments, let's put the money away, and then you find me having a good time. I will have a good time. So I'm a bit of both. Yes, I do the saving, the investment, but I also, yes, spend the money quite a bit. Yes. So after you've saved, I always tell people, yes, have the goals, but make sure you're having fun as well, because we don't want you to be miserable after you've saved all the money and you have nothing to eat. So I'm a bit of both. Yes, a spender and a saver.
For sure, for sure. Nice. Yes, Bob. What's your money mindset?
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Bob. It's nice to be at Zeno. Well, the mindset we are talking about, I think I have gradually developed from being a spender to being careful with what I have in my hands. And so, and I think that has come with responsibilities. You know, if you have responsibilities, then you begin to sort of like check yourself and say, you know what, is this worth it? Do I have to spend on it? How will I go through tomorrow? What, you know, kind of thing. So, but initially, I remember the times when I started to work with my very first paycheck. When it came out, I was standing in front of a store like that sold jeans and sold jeans and shoes, wallets. And so my mind was quickly like, you know what, I just need to get in and, you know, but it has grown over seasons of my life. And so right now, the season I'm in, basically being careful with the pennies and is it worthwhile?
Yeah.
So that's the mindset I'm in at the moment. Yes.
True, true. I think you know, when they asked me this question earlier, when I had a chance to, you know, look through our conversation for today, I pondered on what my mindset is. And I think I'm a little bit more like Monica. I hate poverty. Like just not knowing what tomorrow looks like just puts me on the edge. I'm just like, what? You know, like I need to do whatever it takes, you know, to ensure that financially we're catered for. I never want to wake up in the morning and say, I don't have tuition fees for my son. You know, I'm constantly saying, hey, now, if I need, say, 800,000 for my son's school fees, how much do I need to save, you know, over a specific period of time to ensure that when the time comes, I have that money? So then I then became a bit like Bob, where now I'm very careful about when I get the money and I see it, and I'm just like, you know, the urge to walk and buy those jeans is like super high. And then you see that tiny human being who you're responsible for, and then you remember that 800K, and you're like, okay, let's first save the money, you know. Anyways, I'm sure a pop-up has come up for our audience online. If you have seen it, please go ahead to share with us and let us know what your money mindset is. Is it scarce, or do you fear money? Do you feel like money is abundant, or do you feel like money is a tool that helps you get the things you need done and affords you a certain lifestyle? All right, so let's jump into our discussion today. Our money mindsets vary, and I think we've seen that as we've gone ahead to respond to the conversation. And this breeds differences, by all means, when we are addressing the topic of money, especially in relationships. Again, like I said, relationships differ. They could be nuclear family, external family, husband, wife, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, XYZ. So I'll start with Monica and Marjorie. You ladies are both financial coaches, and you know, people come to you to become intentional, you know, with their conversations around money, or even with their money altogether, to just attain a certain type of discipline. Before we even look at the external relationships, what barriers do you two ladies find most that most people have, or most people are experiencing while having these internal conversations around money. If people have come to you, of course, your coaches from certain, and please don't maybe disclose names. I find that maybe you probably have this whole confidentiality business going on, which is 100% understood. But are there any similarities or areas that you've found that this is such a general problem that people are struggling with internally when having conversations concerning money?
Yeah, so thanks, Juanita, for that. You're spot on. This money thing has been there in the Bible the years before we were born, and it will be there. I mean, the things we're facing are not new under the sun. They are the same. And because we're human beings. So for me, I think some of the internal conversations we all struggle with are culture barriers. Money is a taboo. We don't want to talk about money. Yet money makes the world go round. Yeah, it affects our health, it affects our dreams, it affects the things we have to do, but we just don't want to talk about it. And somehow we think things will work out. God will provide. Tomorrow is another day. Someone will figure it out. But no one is going to figure it out for you. You've got to do the donkey work. And we don't want to do it until we are pressed on the wall. So for me, the culture thing needs to be broken. We need to normalize money conversations. Yeah? So that's one. The other one is something that wasn't there when we were growing up. It's the Instagram economy. The fact that now the currency we measure success is likes has changed the tone. Yeah, I would rather have 1 million likes and $0 on my account because I want that appeal, that validation. So we are measuring the wrong things and expecting to get different results. Yeah, so that's the validation, the social pressures. Instagram economy is killing us, and even me, like you fall into that because so and so has this. How come? But I don't even know what's Marjorine's condition right now. What's her circumstance? Yeah, maybe she's hit some fortune. I don't know. Just because I think that we're both coaches, we should be in this lifestyle, I should be like her. No, I can't. So, and you see, for money, all of us are different individuals. There's no one size fits all, but we don't get it because, again, we are human beings. You get what I'm saying? So no judgment. We are human beings. That's what it is. Yeah. So, and maybe the last one I can say is the lifestyle inflation. It's also an internal barrier. Like, we're comparing too much. I left university with so and so. We both became tailors. Why? How come she has a car? I don't have a car. How come she buys shoes all the time? I don't have a shoe all the time. You know, that lifestyle inflation. My salary is increased by 500,000. I forget about the tax component, and immediately I move into a rental place of 500,000 increase. But my salary is going to be deducted with taxes, with NSSF, just because I've got a 500K increase. Immediately I move to Ugolobi. Like, you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll hand over to Maggie to add, but those are some of the things I can think about.
Thank you, Monica. Yes, Marjorie.
Great, thank you so much. Monica, you were shaking some tables, but we are here for it. Great. So one of the biggest barriers that I've seen in my coaching and also in my life is actually the lack of financial education. It hit me recently that the things that we actually require in real life, or the knowledge that we need in real life, is not taught in school at all, at all. So very many of us, when you grow up, you start figuring out life. Like, okay, how did I see people holding this money? What used to happen in my family? So those are the things that we pick on. So for most of the people that come to me, they're not sure what to do about their finances, if it's good to make money. Some people actually believe it's not good to make money. They still believe money is evil. So they desist anything that actually brings in money. So I think that is one of the biggest barriers, lack of financial education. And I usually tell people you need to be intentional to get on this journey to learn money knowledge or information, because that is the first step. You cannot grow your money, or you cannot make money or save this money if you don't know the basics of money. And these things are not taught anywhere, not even an MBA class. It doesn't teach that. So we just need to be intentional to say, okay, I need to get on this journey. How can I find this information? Because it is all around us. So that is one of the biggest barriers. And because people don't have that knowledge, most of the issues I've been getting, especially related to love, are people, oh, I gave my boyfriend this money, I got a loan on his behalf, now we've broken up, the bank is looking for me. Things like that. It is terrifying, but it's happening. So
Yeah.
it still goes back to people haven't learned about money and how that comes in when it comes to relationships. Are you able to take a loan on behalf of someone? Things like that. Should I sign when someone is getting a loan? Just basic things like that. People actually do not know that. So it is damaging very many relationships, very many marriages. Married people come to me. I got this. My husband lost his job. I got this loan on his behalf. Now he got some money. He's actually just spending the money. He's not paying back the loan. So I have to keep paying back the loan. Yet this man is always in the house getting his money and spending it anyway. So still gets back to being intentional on the journey of getting financial knowledge. Yes, that's the biggest barrier.
Wow. We have started shaking the tables. Wow. Okay, let's get into it since we are here. So Bob, Bob, you and your wife run Oak Academy together. And
That's right.
yeah, so there's a couple of dynamics going on there. First of all, you're running a business, right? Which is point number one. Point number two, you're doing it with your spouse. Now, away from the capabilities of who they are in terms of their jobs, you know, there's the aspect of the fact that you both are in a relationship. So curious to know how you've both managed to navigate financial conversations that cut across, of course, your business, but including your personal life as well, you know, like how have you managed that entire situation?
Okay. Wow, that's a huge question right there. That I'll try to have a go at it. First of all, we've been married 11 years, and being married 11 years will tell you that we have a little bit of experience as money is concerned, and it has been a journey, I would say. And I'll take this back to even before we started, before we got married. We sort of like spoke about expectations, where do you want to live, how many babies do you want to have, then from there is what are you doing for a living? I mean, do you have a job? Then I remember we also spoke about what you would call a joint account. Can we, when we get married, can we have a joint account where our money comes into the same pot, you know? But one thing I discovered in that period is the difference in the blueprint of money we had, because I'm from a different family. She's also from a different family. And for me, as I was growing up, you look at your parents, how they act in the house, how they spend the money, because every single day you see dad come back home and there is bread. Mommy comes back home and there is beef and chicken. And you see the lights are on. Your school fees is paid. You know, all those things are done. But nobody ever says that, you know what, my child, my son, do this and the other with this money. If you get money, do this and the other. And so I only remember once when my mom used to tell me when I was going to boarding school that, you know what, don't spend all that money, keep some. So whenever I would get to school, I would, you know, try to save a little bit. And towards the end of the term, I have some left. But there was no intentional money coaching or somebody telling you, you know what, it is important that you begin to learn and how to handle money. And I totally agree with Juanita and Monica that, you know, there's been a lack of education, even from home. It starts at home. You see all these things happening, new cars are being bought, you have new clothes, but nobody's saying anything with money. And so that is the background I came from. And also my wife came from another background. But I think my wife had a better, I think she, because her dad was a former banker. So, and I think they must have had conversations of savings, do this, be careful how you spend. So we began to date, and I'm expressing my love. I love you too. Lake Victoria is dry, what, all those things. But then the conversation of money wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think we began talking about money when things got tough, when we were about to get married. We needed the cash, we needed people to come on board, and then we began to talk about money. But she would emphasize all the time that we need a joint account. Can we have a joint account? We are becoming one. So we need to put our money in the same pot. And so we get married. There is rent to be paid. There are things to be bought in the house, and I remember that by that time, I just returned to the country. And so I didn't have a job. Luckily enough, she had just secured a job. She had just finished uni and secured a job in a bank. And so, which meant I was skint as the head of the home. I was skint. There was no money. And for her, she was earning a little bit. And it was a very trying moment for me because nobody had taught me, how are you going to navigate this season of your life? Nobody had taught me that. And so this lovely, wonderful young lady, what she would do, she would sort of like sneak and put some money in my wallet so that the husband is not ashamed on the city gates, kind of thing. And truth be told, I would even get scared of spending that money because I'm thinking, Banange, this girl's money, and now I'm spending it. So life wasn't easy at the start. I am starting a new business. She's working in the bank, and hey, it was a tough one. But you see, it is always good to have good friends around you, people who have walked the journey before you have walked it. And I remember I still have people who got married before me, people who knew a thing or two about family life. So they would ask me, Kulachi, what are you doing? You've just gotten married, you need to take care of this girl, blah, blah, blah. You need to pay for all these things. And there was a little bit of pressure because I just returned to the country. I had no job. And I'm saying I'm starting a new business. So it was a mixed feelings. But, I took myself on that journey of learning on how to spend money, how to use it, how to keep it. And it was very, very intentional. In the first few years of our marriage, it was just study, learn, attend seminars. If you hear somebody launching a book, you're there, you're learning. And it has been a journey. It has been a journey to such an extent. Even when we talk about a joint account, we are very, very skeptical. We're very, very skeptical. Okay, this money went in. How much did you spend? All those conversations. Very, very tough conversation, especially for a guy. We are egocentric kind of people. We sort of act around our egos. And then this young girl is asking you, hey, by the way, I checked on the account and this money was spent. Where did it go? And so you would see Bob transforming there, and the mouth getting into the nose getting into the mouth, and all sorts of things. But it taught me that if this thing is to work, we need to work together because we are one. We are a team. It is us against the rest of the world. Yeah. So I began to really massage my ego. I began to fall in line slowly but surely because it was for me. A person who puts money in your wallet when you don't have a job, that person is for you. They want the very best for you. So I began to renew my mind, and I said, what, I've got to do a better job. So it has been a journey of growth. That time when the business was just starting and she was working elsewhere, and then when the business started to pick up a little bit, I started to convince. I said, what, come and we work together. Come and bring your intellect, take it away from the bank, bring it to the school. Let us grow the school together. And she would tell me, sometimes she would say, Banange, but the affordability, the business cannot afford, And I said, okay, let me keep working until we got into a point whereby
I couldn't afford your wife.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Couldn't afford that salary.
Exactly. But we got into a point whereby, yes, now the ship was moving steadily. We could afford. And then she decided to say, my husband, I think it's high time I resign from here and I come to you. And then she resigned. And for me, I looked at it as a big plus, because one, I was gaining from my expertise from the bank, but I was also gaining from her wisdom and understanding of finances. So when she moved in, I quickly said, you know what? It is here. The whole plate is here. So how can we share this cake? How can we do a good job? And she's been tremendous. She's gotten, brought me value, and I've learned quite a bit. And I'm also still learning.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have serious financial conversations. She'll call me out and say, you know what, this paycheck here, this check here, was it necessary for us to sign it? I remember the time when she came in and said, for the first time, she said, you know what, you need to earn a salary, you business owner. You need to take a salary home. Yeah. And I was thinking, she's now thinking about our home, But the real issue here was not to spend business money anyhow.
Spend
Decide
your
what you want
salary, not
to
the
be
money
paid.
for the business.
Exactly. Decide what you want to spend, what you want to be paid, and then the business will run well. And I've seen that ever since I started getting a paycheck. The thing is good. We are very, very careful, and we are able to take care of our workforce. Yeah, kind of thing. So in a nutshell, it has been a series of growth from one part to another, and I'm still growing. I'm not yet there. I am still learning. I'm still doing a lot of financial education, getting it here, buying books every now and then, getting into spaces where, for example, like this space here, like Zenos, the Zenos space. I mean, these conversations are very healthy, and I think the whole country needs to take a leaf from Zeno. Back to you, Juanita.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bob. I can tell that you have shared not just one, but multiple points of view, especially around, man, your humility, 100%, like men in Kampala today, they don't make them like you anymore, but wow, really big ups to your wife for just, holding the fort and holding you accountable, but also for you to allow her that space to hold you accountable and to be able to reach you in a certain level, So, thank you so much for sharing that, Bob. So I'll go ahead to maybe jump back to Monica. So Monica, you have a particular interesting model, around the stages where people mature with their money and eventually build wealth, they make, grow, protect, and, have legacies. So when we talk about protecting money, to a certain degree, it concerns spending, there's a bit of spending there. Why is having conversations around spending, why are they so sensitive, especially in relationships? Like we said, our relationships are many, they're diverse. But why is a conversation around spending money very sensitive? And how can we ensure that these financial discussions remain constructive and not emotional? They don't weigh too much on the emotional end, and they weigh too much on the constructive end. I hope. Yeah. Over to you, Monica.
Yeah, thank you very much, Juanita. That question is huge, but I think for me, the realization, and I've learned this over time, the realization that we are emotional beings, really, we have to give ourselves grace, okay? Money, there's no emotion when it comes to money, it's a tool. But as individuals, when I'm getting feedback at work, I want things to play in my favor, okay? When I want a bigger size of the pie, let's say in a relationship, in terms of money, I want to swipe more. I want things to fall in my favor. You get what I'm saying? So we're just emotional beings, and I think it takes maturity to get above that and say, okay, what needs to be done? What we have. So for me, I think it's important to be aligned as partner, with your spouse, with your family, with your whoever it is, whatever relationship means to you. It's important that you're aligned, because for sure, if I said I'm a vigilante, it doesn't make me bad, yeah. But if I'm a vigilante and my partner is a spender, for us to appreciate that these are our money languages, okay? So how do we rise up there? And he in that case has to make sure that we have provided for the common good, for the common interests. home ownership, debt is covered, children's education is covered, because those are the things that will make me not sleep at night. Okay. On the other hand, as a vigilante, and if he's a spender, I have to give him freedom to spend. What does that mean? If we've taken care of the 50% of our budget, for example, has gone to the shared goals, education, food, debt, the 30%, should go to investments, which are again aligned to our visions. So the other 20%, let him have 10. He spends how he wants, guilt-free. I also spend. So then he can buy shoes from here to the other side, belts from here to the other side. I can also go and eat, because we have covered the things that are important, and also not made ourselves feel like we are lacking. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's how do we put those spending guidelines? How do we make them work for us, not against us? Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
So that is quite important. Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. I think one thing that you said that usually somewhat stands out for me, but also I find that is extremely practical is the petitioning, like how you petition the money that you have. Is it petition, right?
Yeah.
How you divide, put the monies away accordingly, so that when you have your 10% to spend, then you're not necessarily feeling like, I'm eating the, I'm eating the money, but there's no school fees,
There's no auditing, there's no what, you are eating your money, but when you have not mortgaged yourself.
Yes, very much. Thank you so much, Monica. Well said. So Marjorie, over to you. So Marjorie, you actually have experience with us here at Zeno. You are saving with a group, right? There's a group of friends you're saving with. So, people tend to hesitate when it comes to starting ventures, with people, and rightfully so, honestly. There've been so many scams around Kampala. So, but you, I think with a group of friends, were able to start a group or a circle or a club. And I want to hear from you what your experience was like from making the decision to actually choosing to trust these people and put your money away, to why you're actually doing it and the eventuality of the things that you hope to see from this experience.
Great, thank you. So yes, we have a savings club. It's 5 a.m. investment club. So I run a 5 a.m. club with a group of people. It's a personal growth space. We wake up every morning at 5 a.m. And people are like, 5 a.m., you people don't sleep. We sleep, definitely. But every morning we wake up and we practice the 2020 rule, the way it is written in the 5 a.m. club. So why did we get to saving together? That is because I talk passionately about money, passionately, always getting people on this journey, because I have seen what it has done in my life. Actually, the background of why I started what I do right now as a financial coach, I wanted to save myself first. Because when I first quit my 8 to 5, then if I had anyone saying save money, I'm like, what? I don't even have money. I don't have a job. What are you talking about saving and all these things? But when I got on this journey of learning about getting this money, tracking your money and things like that, the more I learned, the more I shared the things that were helping. So in the 5M Club, that is one of the spaces where I share on a daily with people tips on money, on personal growth and things like that. So while I helped people put their finances in check, track their money, where is the money coming from, what goal do you have, because it always starts with a goal. And then how are you going to achieve this goal? What are you going to put together? What are you going to put aside? And things like that, people were able to actually align their finances as individuals. People started saving money on an individual basis. And then that is where we got the idea that, okay, now that we have mastered our individual monies, of course, you can't say you have mastered 100%, because every single day is a learning journey. We learn every single day, but they were at a position where they were able at least to track their money, to put some money aside, to hit some saving goals or targets. And that is where the idea came from, that, okay, now that we have mastered this, can we then put some money together? Can we have group goals? That yes, we have our individual goals, but can we have some group goals as well? So that is where the idea came from. Of course, I belong to other investment clubs already. So when they brought the idea, we're like, okay, let's do it. Let us give it a try. I was already saving with Zeno then. And one of the things I really love about Zeno, and someone mentioned it in the video that was playing before, is that it is goal based. Most of the people do not achieve their goals because they lack clarity. Like, okay, I want to build a house maybe in 10 years, but they don't know how to break it down. And that is one thing that Zeno does for you. So I was already saving with Zeno as an individual. I had my personal goal on there, and they would send you reminders. They had broken it down that, okay, if this is the target in a year or 5 years, save this weekly or save this daily or save this monthly. And it was actually working for me. So it suggested, and a friend of mine was also saving with Zeno already. So we're like, okay, I think let's start here. And another thing that I really love about Zeno when it comes to group investment or group saving, they break down every person's contribution. Like the person can log in anytime and they see, okay, I've actually contributed this. The group money is this, but this is my portion. This is the interest on my money. So it takes away the burden from the group leader to run around to ask people asking you, oh, so how much money do I have? Zeno does that for you. And that is really awesome. Really awesome. Actually, I think you're the only platform doing it for now. So it is really, really beautiful. So he said, okay, since you're just starting out as a group, let us get to Zeno because everything is already streamlined.
Yeah.
So I remember I got my team because like I tell other people, do not save in something you don't understand. Okay. If you don't understand something, please don't put your money. So I had to make sure that people really understand Zeno before they put their money. So I talked to some of the people that were helping with my personal account then. I told them, oh, we have this group, we want to start saving. So they gave us a session. They were really kind to join at 5 a.m. I know it's really tough, especially if you're not used to waking up at 5, but I remember they joined us on a 5 a.m. call. They took the people through how do you save, where does your money go, where do we invest it, how are we regulated, and things like that. So people were like, oh, okay. So it started opening people's eyes because I also tell people, if you don't understand it, please don't put your money yet. So even after that, we went to the next step of actually coming to the physical Zeno offices for more clarity because I told my people, you need to understand it before you put your money. Yes, me, I already have my personal account, but since this is group money, you need to understand it. So we came here and they were kind enough to give us a session on what Zeno is, where does the money go, what interest you get, and things like that. But the beauty about all of it, first of all, the goal-based platform, because even as a group, we have a goal. For example, we want to get land at the end of this year. And the bigger vision is we need to own 5 AM Club towers in these Kampala streets. So we are doing that as a team. So it's really been an amazing journey. And the support, like timely responses, and then they always give you these updates. They send you emails of statements and things like that. And also the accessibility, because as the leader of that group, of the investment club, you don't have to receive anyone's money. And that is one thing I didn't want to take on. People say, hey, Marjo, 8-hour money. No, please. So Zeno, the beauty with it is that someone can actually save direct on their mobile phones and any amount. That is also beautiful because for most of the platforms, they have a limit and an entry fee. So with Zeno, it was actually 10K. They're like, please, you can get 10K, right? So that helped us get, because even with people, we have people at different income levels, but 10K was really affordable for everyone. So that is how we are able to start on this journey. And it's been an amazing journey so far. And yeah, it is going well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Marjo. This is serious Kalango for us, Marjo. We need to.
I know, right?
I'm going to call you so that
yeah, I'm going to send the invoice, please.
Right? So we have a chat. Wow. This is amazing. But thank you for sharing that experience. We genuinely pride ourselves in hearing such feedback around how a client feels handheld. They feel that the journey is personalized to them and to their needs and to whatever they're looking to achieve. So thank you for that feedback, Marjorie. It's a good pat on the shoulders to show that we are heading in the right direction. So I know we are racing against time. I have one more question for the three of us, and then we'll get into a couple of case, maybe let's call them incidences, so I'll share an incident, and then the question will be around how best we can go about them together. Oh yeah, Patrick, I've seen your comment. Yeah, please, by the way, if you have anything to share, you can go ahead to leave it in the chat section. I can see the chat section is buzzing, so we'll go to that at the very end but keep those coming. We love them. We love them. So I have one more question, then we'll jump into the incidences. So this one question goes to the three of you, and if you can keep it short, it will be really nice. So each of us has shared a couple of things around money and love all together in a certain environment. There's a blend of openness, a blend of mutual understanding, mutual agreement, some sense of communication, and of course not just plain communication, but open communication to a certain degree. So from each of you, if there was one thing that you would leave with, let me say, a couple that's listening in right now, maybe their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family, black tax type situation, whatever it is, if there was one thing that you were to leave with them concerning how they can manage a conversation, a financial conversation around money with their significant other, what would that one thing be? I'll go with you, Bob.
I think one of the things that I would really leave, especially to those that are intending to get married.
Intending?
Intending, yes. Those who are intending, boyfriend, girlfriend. If we can talk about love, if we can talk about things that, make our hearts go like that, yeah, we can still talk about money. Money answers all things, I'll tell you. And if you're telling me that you love me, then it is okay to talk about money. What are your expectations of money? How do you handle money? Those are some of the conversations we really need to get into before we jet off to the honeymoon. Because I've been involved in quite a number of wedding organizations and counseling sessions whereby people do not have a clue on what money is all about, but they are deeply in love. And a few months down the line, there are breakups because there was totally ignorance about money. And so for me, what I'll tell any vying couple, anybody who's in that season of their life, please talk about money. Some people have date.
I'm not sure if it's my network or did we lose Bob?
I think it's his network.
All right. Maybe we could go with you, Monica, while Bob returns.
Sorry. Okay, I'll go ahead. Yeah, you said to keep it short. Mine really is, ladies and gentlemen, all you who are out there, a spouse is the greatest investment one can ever make. It's not land, it's not what, it's not. Choosing your spouse is the most important financial decision. It can even cause you to lose 50% of your money. So choose wisely. All right? Choose wisely who you, pay attention to who you marry, ladies and gentlemen. That is all I can say because it underlines everything about love and money. Thank you.
Shake that table. Woo! Marjo, bring it, sis.
Great. So what I can say is just to top on what has been said already, let's normalize having these money conversations because love and marriage is a partnership. It's collaboration. It is not competition, friends. There are people that, you earn more money. Oh, this one earns more money. No, you can actually find ways to make it work together. I've seen very many people that come to me, or maybe the lady's earning more and now the gentleman has given up on all the responsibilities because you're getting the money anyway. So have these money conversations and also set these expectations from the beginning. From the beginning, like Bob said, before even that wedding, have these conversations. If you're talking about how many children you want to have, then talk about the money. What do you see yourself? What financial goals do you have? Because first of all, you have your independent financial goals as an individual. The other person also has their financial goals. And then as a couple, you come together and have the joint financial goals. So have those conversations. It's not a competition. It's a collaboration. And the best thing, if you're a lady on this call, get yourself a supportive man. It is beautiful. Yeah. Someone who will support your goals, who will understand you, someone who will listen to you. Because if someone is not supportive, you may talk all you want about money and they'll not actually listen. So let us normalize having these conversations about money. What expectations do you have in this marriage? So make it clear, because some ladies say, me, I got married, I thought he was going to take care of me, but you didn't have the conversation. So it's not obvious. Have those conversations. Yes.
For sure, for sure. Wow, thank you guys. Wow, I feel like we're doing, I feel like this should be a session that happens for everyone, like marriage counseling. Like this should be like conversation number one. But this is insightful. Thank you guys. You're shaking tables, but giving really, really amazing, insightful ideas for our audience. And I can tell guys are munching on them. They're sharing exactly what, their experiences, but also their takeaways. I hope guys are jotting down everything this awesome panel is sharing with us as we go along. So let's jump straight into our incidences. Now, like I said earlier, I'll read an incident and then there'll be a follow-up question. And they are 3, so I'll just direct one of each to each of our panelists. So I'll go for the first one is avoidance, irresponsible spending. So here is I'll give the context. My daughter recently started university. My wife and I decided that we would give her a monthly stipend to cater to her needs. Over the past few months, she has been calling me directly to ask for more money. I don't want her to miss out on the experiences, but I feel a bit frustrated. I can't complain about her behavior to my wife because she will blame me for enabling her. What should I do? Now, regarding a parental conversation, around money, this is a father who's pondering on what he should do around, having conversations concerning money with his wife. So I think to the best of the wife's knowledge is that they give her a stipend every month and it should be enough to cater to her needs. But the daughter is reaching out to the dad and saying, I need a bit more money. And the dad is enabling it, which he is, honestly, because if I was wife, I would also say, why are you giving her money? But that's just me. So I think I'll direct this question to Bob, because Bob is I think you are in an academic environment, you work closely with your wife, and you make interesting, intense decisions concerning money with your wife. So briefly, what should this father do?
I think I liked, I think it was one of the panelists when they said, when you're dealing with money, emotions aside. And the other thing as well, being a father, one of the things I would love to leave my children is financial knowledge, is to educate them and tell them from away and tell them exactly. I didn't have the luxury of my parents sending me money and saying, spend that. I had to work for it. So I think the father should take responsibility. Yes, you love you love your daughter, but the best thing you could leave your daughter is that knowledge, some value around money. Sit her down and tell her, you know what, we cannot afford to spend money on luxuries because of A, B, C, D, F, G. And once you start that early, you've left a legacy. You've left a legacy for those children. So for me, sit down, talk about it. It's talking about it. It is okay to talk about money. Let them know where they've gone wrong, and I think with that talk, you would have set them up for something that will be for a very good future. So, father, take responsibility. Stand in the gap and take responsibility. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Bob. And I think you say something really critical. I'll not delve too deep in it, but I find that as parents, we sometimes struggle to have conversations with our children around money, around sex, around, very intense things that are, you're just like, how do I start? My child is like, it's a child, but they're not a child when they're out there, So you do actually share something really critical that if they are to learn this lesson, what happens to them when you're not here anymore? You know, they have to be able to know how to manage their money with or without the extended grace. All right, moving on to the next incident, and I think this one will go to you, Marjo. It's a lack of transparency. So the story goes, in 2015, I quit my job to become a stay-home mom to my then 3-year-old. Since then, I have been earning an income. Sorry. Okay, I'll go again. So in 2015, I quit my job to become a stay-home mom to my then 3-year-old. Since then, I have not been earning an income. My husband is the sole earner in the family, but this has left me out of having any control over our finances. How do I gain confidence to talk about money with my partner? So here, of course, we have a power dynamic going on, which I think has been defined by the lack of money thereof and one other partner having all the money and then making the decisions. So the question then becomes, how does she gain the confidence to talk about money with her partner?
Awesome. Thank you so much. The first thing I would say to the stay-at-home mom is not to look at herself like she cannot make money at all. Because it is true, you cannot actually say much if you're not bringing anything to the table. That is just it. That is just the reality. So I would just encourage her to look at the different options that she can do at home still with her child, because there are very many things that she can do. And also to change her mindset of waiting for the father to provide, the father of the child to provide. It is very true that she'll not be able to have these conversations because the man is like, I'm the one bringing the money. Why are you asking about my money? And that happens a lot. So I just want to empower mothers out there. I'm personally a mother of 2 children, and I just want to empower the moms to find these sources of income that they can have. First of all, it gives you the confidence. She's lacking the confidence to even speak about it. But if this person knows you have something else that you're doing, something that can bring you money, and you're actually doing it with your child, still taking care of the child, then it is something that can give room for a conversation. So for her to get the confidence, she can first look at the different options that she has that can make her money. And there are so many. I tell people right now, YouTube is like the biggest university you can ever go to. Just typing, what can I do as a stay-at-home mom? You'll get thousands of ideas. And of course, most of them you may not be able to do them, but you can look through and see, what can I start at home? I remember when I also quit my first job, my baby was 1 year then. I was home for some time and I wondered, okay, what can I do? I started getting skills online. That is when I even started my full coaching career. Everything started at home. I started teaching myself, reading books, or if you love baking cakes or whatever it is, you can learn on YouTube whatever skill or passion that you have, such that at least you know there is another source of income that is coming in. When you get having your money is sweet. Ladies on the call, we are talking love and money. Making your money is sweet. Yes, it is. So I usually encourage mothers, stay-at-home moms. It is not true that you can't earn money. That is where it starts. Have an income, find something that you can do while you're still home. It is very possible. Find something that you love. And then when you have money, that money will give you some bit of confidence to actually talk to your partner about, okay, so you have this, we have these goals. Oh, I have actually made this money. And also the lack of transparency that you talked about. I encourage couples to be transparent as much as possible, especially that comes from a part of understanding your partner. Most people don't open up because they know, if my man learns that I'm earning money, he won't provide again. We have those kinds of men around. So understand your partner and then find out if they can support you in whatever it is that you're doing. You can even have the conversation, oh, I'm staying home, but I got this idea to do something here at home. What do you think? Having those conversations, involving them from the start, can help build that trust, the confidence and support. So I think she can look for options, things she can do, and then that conversation will be much better when she also has a bit of options. But if you have 0 options, you're relying on this person 100%, it is hard to have the money conversation.
Certainly.
Yes.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Marjo. Very empowering. All right, last but not least, this one goes to you, Monica. and undermined financial goals. This is black tax. So here's the scenario. I've been working for a few years. However, I have not done anything for myself because I'm always looking after the needs of someone in the family. How can I deal with my family demands and spare enough for my savings and my future goals? Now, this person, of course, is struggling with which is probably what many of us, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a struggle, but many of us in one way or another are extending ourselves beyond our nuclear family to the people that we care about in our families and our extended families. So he or she, the person in this conversation, is pondering on how they can figure out a way of dealing with these family demands, but also spare some money enough to take care of their savings and their financial goals. So technically what he's saying right now, he makes enough to take care of him now and the family needs. So over to you, Monica.
Okay, thank you very much, Juanita. I'm running the risk of being called many names because you're giving me a very difficult one. But yeah, but social capital is one of the tenets of financial wellness. Yeah, so you're going to have to define social capital, whichever way you think about it. Some of us define it as I need to be with the who is who to open doors so that I can, make it. At that point, to be like, you know what, I need my small circle of friends. That's where I'm going to focus, and that's where I'll invest, okay? Because it's also an investment. Others, because they have not defined, it's whoever comes my way, I will be Jesus Jr. Yeah. So define what you want for your social capital, because we need to invest in social capital. We cannot run away from it. And in Africa, we are extensions of our, of our nuclear family. And we benefit as much as, it can be draining. You get what I mean? So how do we go about it? Remember the allocations we talked about? If 50% goes to needs, yeah, 30% goes to investments and savings, you have 20%. There's giving, which can be 10, and then you can say black tax is 10. Guys, if you have 1 million shillings, it will be 10% for black tax. And that is what your budget can afford. You cannot borrow to give. Fill your cup, it overflows, then you give. You cannot give from an empty cup, guys. Don't sacrifice yourselves, don't mortgage yourselves, because much as you're someone's plan A, remember when you're in need, you're not anyone's plan A, because you have, yeah? There's this notion that you have. So take care of yourself, because no one is going to take care of you. Really, for me, I know that I have to give, but I give within my remit. I will never borrow to give, never. Unless, I don't know, to give. No, it's not a crisis, it's not an emergency. And I know that if I don't give and I don't have, that person has a plan B. And they'll go to the plan B and they'll be sorted. So really for me, and so that's one way of looking at it, yeah, from the allocation perspective. The other one, and by the way, when I say 30%, it could be 10% for you, but whatever percentage it is your percentage, right? The other way to look at it is, we've talked about these things of, needing help, extra hands, and all those things. So sometimes the way I give really is, if my relative says, help me pay school fees for so and so, and also when I it's also vetting, yeah, instead of getting someone I don't know to come and help me with my stuff, I can help my relative go and do tailoring, as that person also comes and contributes, yeah, to my well-being. So it's got to be a quid pro quo. So it's many aspects, but at the end of the day, I cannot give what I don't have. We need to create boundaries. If my spouse has responsibilities, you remember that 10%, yeah? So they have to split the 10% how they want, because we have already split the joint, yeah, because we have needs, we have to take care of them. That is the long and short of it. Of course, there'll be flexibilities here and there, but at the end of the day, don't borrow to lend. Give when you're overflowing. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Well shared. Thank you so much, Monica. Good points there. And unfortunately for us, many a times we find ourselves having to borrow to cater to the needs of then our extensions. But you do actually share an important point, which is don't borrow, like only give from the, to the extent and the capacity that you're able to. So we're going to jump into our questions really quickly. We have a little over 20 minutes now to the end of our call. There had been a request for us to walk through our onboarding process for family goals, and ideally the heart behind really why we're having this conversation was for us to somewhat channel a couple of us around some of the goals that we have, some of the goals that we offer as Zeno, and one of them is the family account, where you as a family can decide that this is how much you're going to be putting away, this is the goal that we're looking to achieve, and instead of having your money sit somewhere and not grow, you can have it, like Marjorie said, have it sit somewhere, watch it grow, and you can see how much every member is contributing. You can decide who are the representatives and who are the signatories. We do unfortunately have very little time for us to walk through that entire process, but I think like Marjorie said, there's so much in there, and we have a team of advisors on the call who will be able to walk you. In case you're interested, just maybe give it a thumbs up or just raise your hand, and an advisor will be assigned to you to ensure that they walk you through this process to ensure that you have all the answers that you need. So please allow me skip that part so that we can get into our questions, because I can tell they're a bit many, so we'll not leave those. So I'll go with the first question that I see here, which is about percentages. So Timothy says, I think percentages give a skewed measure. Not all expenses can be put into percentages. Rent that is 30% of 1 million is 60% of 500K, dash, dash, dash. Timothy's a mathematician, I can tell. 10% to give might not be available depending on the money. So I think maybe to just sum it up, in the event that someone probably is not cognizant or comfortable with percentages, Monica, is there any other way that people can have a conversation around partitioning their money and putting it away in certain batches that if I don't understand percentages, how else can I do it?
Okay, thanks a lot. Automation is also good, setting up standing orders. If you decide that I'm going to save with Zeno X amount, as soon as the money comes, let it go, invest it so that you can, you pay yourself first before you pay the bills. Let's stop being ATMs for other people. Yeah, let's prepare, prepare for ourselves, then we can become, so that then you spend what is left. Okay. Then the other thing on percentages, he talked about the 1 million. Ladies and gentlemen, if your income is 1 million and you're paying more than 30% of that on rent, you can't afford that house. It's time for you to move. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So even if you don't understand percentages, that's what it is. 30% is 300,000. So find a house of 150, period. And then increase your income. Otherwise, you'll continue not to be able to afford your lifestyle because there's food, there's rent, there's transport. Those are the three biggest expenses.
Yes.
That's why they all have to fit within 50 or 60% of what you earn. And then you work backwards. Yeah. So there's no not understanding of percentages, really.
Well said. I think a couple of the rest are pretty answerable. Someone was asking if they're going to get the recording. Yes, Pius will be sharing the recording via email, but you can also catch it on our YouTube channel. Someone was asking if they're going to have a chance to speak. Yes, Eric, now is going to be the time for you to speak. So like I said, we're in our Q&A session. So if you have anything to share with us now, if you have a question for any of our panelists, now would be the time. We have 15 minutes now. So please go ahead to raise your hand and I shall call upon you. Juanita, maybe you could be kind to manage that chat section. I haven't seen a hand raised yet, but if there is any, please alert me if it's there. So yes, now is the time you get to ask any questions to our panelists in case it's there. While I continue to read some of these, of course, some of you are just shocked at the situations that I was reading about. Daniel Diba, you share, true, but confidence to discuss money should not only come from earning, Someone not earning does not necessarily mean they don't have wisdom to make spending decisions. True. And for us men, it is not only, it's also not wise to try to be everything at once: a breadwinner, a bread distributor, a bread keeper, and a bread multiplier, etc. These roles can be shared with your partner. If you don't trust your partner to make money decisions jointly, then why marry her in the first place? Good question, Daniel, and very good points shared there.
I agree with that. Yes,
Right?
because then you cannot trust them with your most treasured assets, your life and your children. So cut the cord.
True.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Very well shared, Daniel. Thank you so much. Moses, you say you're indeed joining Zeno soon. Yes, Bob?
Johnny, I wanted to say that is a very good thing, and for one to get to that, you need to have a broader perspective, because the fact that your wife is at home not working, she's also doing other things at home, taking care of the baby, is making sure the food is on the table. The home is a safe environment for you to return to. There are quite a number of things that that you cannot even put monetary value on, but and so I totally agree. I mean, if she's a very good person who knows how to apportion money, you go make the money and delegate the responsibility to how apportioning the money well, and because when you win, she's also winning. When she wins, you're also winning. So it's a two-way thing. I think let us have bigger perspectives that my partner is not a competitor. She's coming in to help us grow together, to help us build together. So and especially if you do not have a vision, sometimes that's what happens. I mean, you're thinking, oh, this is my money. You haven't built a vision. So I think a gentleman there, big ups to him for that contribution right there.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much, Bob. Jacqueline, you said you were having challenges joining Zeno previously with the prompts that had been shared. Joshua has reached out, so I'm sure he'll be able to hold your hand in case of anything. Kick Andrew, you say immediately after our wedding, we decided to set up a Zeno for building a house in, I think you meant a Zeno goal, for building a house in 3 years. We are 1.5 years and we are moving perfectly with our goal. When we gave birth to our first son last year in June, we opened up his own goal and save 100K each month. And 8 months down the road, his account is growing well. So my friends here, it's possible. Friends, talk about planned kids. Wow. Well done, Andrew. Well done. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Joshua has been kind to share with us the details of our panelists. In case you have any questions, maybe you want to talk to them personally. Bob here runs an academy, so you're able to talk to him about maybe planning for your children's future. He's able to give you like insight into what does it take to educate your child well. And then you're actually able to come to Zeno and open a goal for your child's education and retrospect it to a specific period of time that you're looking to do that. Monica and Marjo are both coaches. They're passionate about money. They're passionate about watching people grow around their finances, both in relationships and any other aspects of their lives. So you can actually reach out to them. We've put their details. You can visit their websites. We've also added their email addresses. Please don't spam them. Don't be calling them for strange things, like let's be civil, professional people, okay? So only reach out to them when you have something useful to say to each of them. But also, friends, please know that this is their business, so don't be there thinking you're coming for free, for free conversations. I think we can start with pro bono, but eventually these are businesses. So yeah, let's catch the gist of it. But we're really grateful that sorry. Okay. All right, so Eric, I've been ably informed that you can now go ahead to unmute and share your question. If you're still with us, now would be a really good time. Let's give it about a minute or two. Eric, are you still with us? Yes, Philemon. Philemon, your hand is raised. Janita, please allow Philemon access to unmute. While Janita does that, Agnes is here asking, what can a woman do if the man gives up responsibility because the woman earns more than him and yet wants to be given accountability on everything? I see the smile on Monica's face, eh?
So, I mean, that answer is not going to be got in this session, but there are things which we call financial counseling, which Maggie, which Marjorine and I do. These things are deep. Money conversations are deep, guys. They're deep. By the time I'm asking you for accountability, yet I don't earn and you don't, you have things you have to deal with before you start to deal with the situation that we are facing. So let's normalize these conversations. Let's seek help. And right now we are lucky that if you don't go to YouTube University, you can have one-on-one sessions with Marjorine, with financial counselors, with financial advisors. People are willing to help more than ever before, because before no one wanted to say anything about money. We're all worried about it, scared. Now it's the era of information, and we have people who want to talk about these things and who are willing to help. So if you're in that kind of situation, for me, I call it's bordering on financial abuse. Yeah. There can be physical abuse. What abuse? That is financial abuse, ladies and gentlemen. And we don't know these things because we don't talk about them. Seek counseling and help is there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica. Philemon, are you able to share now?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
I think
Philemon.
this is like my first time joining on call. I recently joined Zeno about 2 months back. Yeah. So I just wanted to inquire. I don't know if it's appropriate to bring it on board right now, but okay, I've actually been receiving emails to join such discussions, and I was like, wow, this is really great. Though I'm just starting up, and I'm really trying to work within budget, something like that. So are we charged on this, or it's actually just a learning topic whereby we can just be going, then we learn from, as in what you guys have shared has really been eye-opening, yeah, to me. What I wanted to inquire. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Philemon. And yes, to answer your question, no, no, we do not. We don't charge for webinars. These are knowledge sessions. We came to the understanding that many people may be interested in something, but may probably be hesitant because they don't have as much information as they need to make the right decision. So hence these webinars. These webinars were curated to answer certain questions that people have, meet certain needs that people have, target certain pain points that people have. So no, we don't charge for them, but we highly encourage people to join them so that in case they have any questions around how to save as a couple, maybe save as an individual, what does Zeno do, and so on and so forth. This was one of those ways for us to be able to reach out to our community and the different people that are interested in Zeno to be able to tell them about what we do. So no, Philemon, to put you at ease, we don't charge for these, but we're really glad that you gave it a shot and you came regardless. And yeah, please keep coming in case you have any questions or any topics you want us to discuss that you feel like places you need knowledge about, you can get in touch with us and we'll be able to plan accordingly. Thank you for the question. Pius, I see your hand raised, and Charity as well. Janita, please enable Pius and Charity to be able to unmute their mics and share. While you do that, a question came in. Pius says, in any case, when you set yourselves a budget with your spouse and you promise never to go beyond your budget, an incident happens when your wife's family member needs your help as a family, yet you have not planned for it. How will you go about such? Yeah.
I guess because I'm
Okay.
the one who did black tax, that's directed to me. Friends, even the person who plans the most, yeah, things will still go amiss. Yeah. That we should know, that risk management is knowing that things will go haywire even when we've planned and dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
Yes.
So there are things we call emergency funds. Okay. They're supposed to help us with those things. So if you set up like a Zeno account, it could be that is my emergency fund of someone has fallen sick. My family member who I take care of has fallen sick. Of course, the 10% giving, black tax won't fall in that category because, again, life happens, right? So for me, I call that a life happens account. Let's get into the habit of knowing that life will happen, even when we plan, like, I don't know what. So let's normalize having an emergency account for that. Emergency accounts are not for weddings, for what? No, a wedding is not an emergency. It's an emergency account. Yeah. So that's how I handle them. And it may not be enough because it's an emergency, because I don't know the extent of the emergency. But that's a starting point. Then I can, as you figure out how to deal with things. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Thank you so much, Monica. All right. We still have one hand raised. Juanita, please enable Charity to share. We have 4 minutes to end this call. While that's going on, Nachide Sumaya, you are wondering how much interest you would earn if you save 200,000 Uganda shillings on a monthly basis. And I think, like Peter Kavuma has mentioned, that's not an estimate that I can make for you here. But if you join the Zeno, or actually if you just visit the Zeno website, you don't even have to join. Visit the Zeno website, you will find a simulator on our landing page. If you can go to the landing page, you'll find a simulator. You can input the figures that you're thinking and then see the trajectory that you will be provided. And then there you'll be able to make to find the answers that you're looking for. That would be the best response I can give you, because we do not actually invest all your money in one pool. We diversify your portfolio so that in case one basket hasn't performed well, another has performed well, or both have performed well. So, so you just never know. So that's not something I can authoritatively speak of, but you can find our simulator, or it's actually called an investment planner, like Peter has said. Thank you so much for that, Peter. Charity, are you able to unmute now and share? We have 2 minutes now. Yes, Charity.
Thank you, Juanita, and everyone else on the panel. My question goes to Juanita, the Zeno team. So at the beginning of last year, I set up a goal on the Zeno app. But unfortunately, I was not disciplined enough to make the deposits as per how they were broken down. However, at the beginning of last year, at the end of last year, I made up my mind to, work towards that goal and be able to achieve it. My question is, is there a way they can recalculate for me to be able to get the particular amounts I should be depositing for me to be able to achieve the amount I had set out? And also, is it something I can do on the app, or do I have to get onto a call with someone from your team or meet them physically? Thank you.
Thank you for that, Charity. And yes, that's something you can actually do by yourself on the web. So you could just go ahead to sign into your account on the web platform. Go to that specific goal that you set. There will be an icon on the on the screen. It's on the left. I was going to say right because that's where my hand is, but on the screen it's on the left. You can select that icon and you'll be able to find where you're actually able to adjust your strategy. You're able to adjust actually so many things, because again, It's your goal and it's personalized to you. And why you are provided the platform on the dashboard where you're able to make all those changes is because it's yours. So if you feel like 3 out of 10 is a strategy that didn't work for you, you can move it to 5, you can move it to 7. If you feel like you want to adjust the goal, maybe it wasn't 10 million that you wanted and now you're looking to grow it to 10 million to 20 million, that's also an adjustment you can make because it's your goal. You'll definitely be receiving OTPs and emails from us to verify that you're the person that you say you are that's making those adjustments. But yes, it is possible. So, but in the event that you need any other help, please reach out to us. There'll be someone to walk you through the entire process and make sure that it's seamless, so that it doesn't give you a hard time. But thank you for that question. And yes, we'll be able to help you with that. Okay, so we are well within our time. It's 2:30, the time that we had been given. I don't want to stretch the grace of our wonderful guests, but also the grace of each and every one of you that has chosen to join us this fantastic Wednesday. The quarter is fast approaching and coming to an end, and I hope that with everything we've discussed here, we're able to pick up a few things here and there that will help us as we navigate relationships, money, love, and so on and so forth. The most important thing here is we're looking to have some sense of financial freedom, some sense of financial independence, both for women and for men. So while you juggle your relationships and you juggle relationships with family, with loved ones, with spouses, with boyfriends and girlfriends, please bear in mind that you can't give from where you don't have. You can't pour into places where you're empty, So work on your financial discipline, ensure that you have the finances that you need, and then you can plug into other people and support them. If you're in a relationship, like our panelists have shared, be open-minded, have a mutual sense of understanding amongst the both of you, be open in communication, talk to each other, talk about everything, talk about the money, talk about where it's coming from, talk about how much you want to distribute it, because openness allows for courage, it allows for growth. You see your money grow because somehow you talk about it. And I think, like Monica shared, the person that you marry is the biggest investment you'll ever make in your life. So we're not here to talk about marriage, we're here to talk about money, but that was something that stayed with me. So those that are looking to don't say we didn't tell you. So Monica, Marjorie, and Bob, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for choosing to support us. Thank you for choosing to share of yourselves, of your wisdom, of your time. And I hope that when the different people that have been a part of this panel and have gotten your contacts reach out to you, you're able to support them. Please introduce yourselves first before you jump into whatever you need them for, so that they don't be like, sorry, who are you? Yeah, but I'm sure they're cordial people, so they'll be very welcoming. Thank you so much again for joining us. Please visit any of our platforms on any social media platform. That's Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, even Facebook. If you are a VPN user, you can go there and you can find all the information you need concerning Zeno. If you're here for the very first time, visit myzeno.com. Go to our website. You can join. You can also find any answers we need there. But if you're looking to have a conversation with any of our investment advisors, a number has been left in the chat section and an email as well. Go ahead to leave us an email or give us a call and we'll be able to reach out to you and support you the best way we know how. To you all, have a wonderful night and happy new month, since it's starting like in a day or two. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.